Hope I'm clearly audible. And so, the nuclear is a protection to any nation, right? Therefore, today we'll understand increasing nuclear power and its risks. See, firstly, the global nuclear risks are escalating due to the renewed arms, right? Weakened treaties, the treaties and agreements are very weak, and the political, competition that happens geopolitically, and this very tension escalates the nuclear power, right? And as a result, it makes the threat of nuclear conflict more serious than any time of the Cold War, right? So the introduction would be like the specter of nuclear weapons has haunted international relations since 1945. While the Cold War era was defined by deterrence and arms control, however, in 21st century is witnessing a dangerous reversal, right? Rising global nuclear is inevitable, right? Because of the political competition that is going on international level, and this global, nuclear risks from renewed arms races, right? you know Tension, all this increases due to doctrinal ambiguities and the modernization of defense, right? And in order to be the best, you have to have a nuclear weapon, right? Without that, a country would, may witness kidnapping of president, just like Venezuela. So for that matter, nuclear is also must, yet it's very risky, right? So that's there. Here are the key driving factors of rising nuclear risks. Firstly, renewed arms policy. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute warns of a new nuclear arms race as a major power modernize the arsenal, right? And this nuclear armed states are investing billions, all their money, right? Because no one wants their state to be dominated, right? It's vice versa for everyone, probably, right? Everyone wants to dominate, right? No one wants to get dominated. So they upgrade the arsenal. In, specifically, if we look into nuclear weapon, they upgrade it. They spend billions of their, you know budget in nuclear system, in delivery system and missiles and whatnot, which vandalizes the global peace, and it, causes a major global tension among everyone, right? Among every nation, in fact. So that's there. First was that, and the second is collapse of arms control regime. Decades old tension, such as INF, immediate force of nuclear, immediate force of, uh, this treaty, INF, was signed between the USA and USSR to weaken the new, START agreement. But this all these things have eroded by times, right? By this time, and everyone is upgrading their nuclear system, right? So that's there. The situation is no more same like, 1987, where when back then when this treaty was signed. It's very, harmful and dangerous. If we look at the contemporary times, anyone can attack nuclear, you know so doesn't you know it doesn't it doesn't come easy, right? You'll have to face a lot of consequence, right? So we'll unravel all the risks of all this nuclear, nuclear attack and nuclear system. So that's there in this video. Now, implication: if this nuclear energy or, nuclear system is implied, there is a high chance of miscommunication or cyber interference, and all these things could trigger unintended launches of nuclear system, right? Even a small miscommunication or any cyber interference could, lead to major launches of nuclear system. And you know what happens after that. Next is humanitarian catastrophe. Even a limited exchange of nuclear system from one country to another country, right? In worst case scenario, if they launch a nuclear system, then the causes would be very detrimental, right? It would result in mass casualties, famine, right? I'm sorry, it's famine and climate change. Definitely, we will see a lot of climate disruption when this nuclear system is launched, right? So that's there. Now we'll look on to the paths to mitigation and how to control all the nuclear risks. First is reviving arms control, renewed negotiation among the countries, the nation who possess nuclear, right? They must come into agreement and do everything necessary sort of treaties to have a friendly relation, right? Next is strengthening non-proliferation, that is reinforcing in the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, that stands for that is NPT, and supporting the treaty of prohibition of nuclear weapons, right? That's there. And thirdly, and most importantly, promoting transparency among the global sphere. Clear doctrines, right, and communication channels reduces miscalculation and the threat that we tend to anticipate, right? So there must be fundamentally transparency among the global giants, right? So that's there. Now, in summation, the world stands at a perilous juncture at this point in time. Rising nuclear risks are not inevitable. It's not indispensable, but the result of political choices make it so, right? So by recommitting to arms control, fostering peaceful dialogue, and delegitimizing, all the weapon, all specifically all the defense weapon, missile, and nuclear system, humanity then can only avert catastrophe, or else things are very dark in near future, right? And the challenge is immense, but the stakes, human survival, demand urgent action. So that's there. In a way, if I have to be logical and rational, personally, nuclear weapon, is must, all right. But the launches, the decision to launch the nuclear system is, you know, it's very debatable, right? But the world would suffer tremendously, you know, tremendously. The things would get horrendous, and the world which we are living in would be equivalent to hell if all the countries, they convinced convinced themselves to launch nuclear attacks on each other. So that's one drawback of the nuclear weapon from my side. Therefore, it's time to end this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have been watching my videos regularly, do consider dropping any feedback, and it will help me a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. 9 minutes. I am, doing this video, like, although I do not speak what I have in my mind, I do refer to, some points, notes. So that's there. And really nice notes. Why are you looking on notes? Oh, okay. Yeah, I do refer. By the way, thanks for watching. And yeah, I do refer notes because I'm just doing it I'm just streaming just to be accountable, right? or else I don't intend to mug up whole the data and come up on YouTube and speak just to I had lost a lot of my confidence and vocabulary after college. In college, I used to speak, regularly on regular basis. So back then, I had gained my grounds in speaking English, and I had a good, I won't say good, but I had a presentable command back then. But things after graduating, right, I am not very, used to English. So again, just to get back to my, know, just to be normal, I am recording or streaming. Just if I have to be, if I have to speak in front of anyone, so that time I must stay ready. At least I must be average, speaker. So for that, normally I refer to notes and speak. Although like it's kind of hard, but yeah, that's there. Again, thank you so much for I will thank you so much for that message. I will try to work on it. I will minimize my screen time, and most of the time I would try to look in the camera. However, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Therefore, time to end the video. Again, thank you so much, guys, and thanks for watching.